Hello, everyone. It is Miss Ann here again with Virtual Sunday School. Our lesson today is one of my favorites. I remember it a lot from when I was a kid. It is the story of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus is a name that we don't hear very often today. You may have a friend whose name is Zach, but that's typically short for Zachary. However, Zacchaeus was a man who was really short, and he wasn't very well liked, but he really wanted to meet Jesus. So our story takes place right before Jesus actually is crucified. So our story kind of takes place before Easter. However, there are so many little stories like this before Easter that it's hard to learn all of them before that time. So today we're going to talk about Zacchaeus, and we're going to find out what he did to meet Jesus. All right, so our story begins down here. We have our same setup from Palm Sunday. So this is that same week where Jesus is on his way to the big city of Jerusalem, which is here. So Jesus is on his way to the city of Jerusalem, and everywhere he goes, people want to meet him. So here is the town of Jericho. So Jericho is right here, and Jesus is just passing Jericho to get into Jerusalem. All right. So on his way to Jerusalem, there were these crowds of people who just wanted to come and to see Jesus. And now we have this tree here, and this tree is pretty important to the story, but I'll talk about that later. So we have Jesus here, and he's coming in to town. He's on his way to Jerusalem, and these crowds of people, they were more than, of course, these 6 people here. There were so many people who were there to see Jesus. And Zacchaeus, this guy here that we talked about earlier, Zacchaeus was the chief tax collector. Basically, he took money from people, and he took more than he needed to take. So people did not like Zacchaeus. He just took way too much of their money, so he was very rich. However, Zacchaeus had heard about Jesus, so he wanted to come and to see Jesus. But if you look closely here, Zacchaeus is much smaller and shorter than the rest of the people. So Zacchaeus could not see Jesus. He was trying to get by the crowds. He was trying to squeeze past them. But because people did not like him, they would not let him through. So Zacchaeus was getting frustrated, but he decided to climb this sycamore tree. So he goes up and he climbs it, and he sits on the top, and he is able to see Jesus above everybody else. So as Jesus comes into town, Jesus notices the man up in the tree, and he stops and he looks up, and he says to Zacchaeus, he calls Zacchaeus by his name and says, "Zacchaeus, come down. I must stay with you today." Zacchaeus was so happy he couldn't help but come right down. But the people were angry. They were so upset. They said, "Why is Jesus staying with Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus does bad things. He's a tax collector. He takes money that isn't his." So they moved off very frustrated. As Jesus and Zacchaeus started to walk and started to talk, Zacchaeus said to Jesus, "Jesus, I will give half of everything I have to the poor. And if I have taken money that doesn't belong to me, I will give it back and 4 times more." Then Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, today you are saved. You are right with God, and you're right with people." Then, as they were walking, they ran into the people again. And Jesus looked to the people and he said, "I, the Son of God, have come to find and save everyone who is lost." Zacchaeus, who was once lost, has now been found. So we learned a little bit more about Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was kind of a not very nice person. He took more money from people than he needed to, and he kept it for himself. However, when he met Jesus and Jesus said his name, Zacchaeus just wanted to be a better person. Jesus showed Zacchaeus love and kindness, whereas the people in the crowds did not show Zacchaeus kindness. And so when he was finally able to see someone being kind to him, he decided that he would turn around and he would be a good person. And so I hope that you all have learned something from our story today. I hope that you all are able to continue the discussion with the discussion questions I've included. There's also a craft video that Miss Erin has done that looks really fun this week. I hope you all are able to stay well and healthy. I miss you all, and I hope you all have a great week. Bye, everyone.